You know that they
Yes.
have potential, you know they can perform, but they just don't want
Yeah.
to do. It's about willingness more than anything else.
Hello, leaders, and welcome back to the LeadHer Lounge. Today, we're going to be talking about something that's actually happening, and you may not know that it's happening, and it could be happening on your own team. And it is the idea of job hugging, embracing your job, hanging on to it for dear life.
It sounds good, but it's
Not. We love hugs here, but this is not the kind of hugging that we want. So, job hugging essentially is the idea that people are hanging on to their jobs for dear life because the job market is very uncertain right now. The economy is very uncertain right now. And they are trying to do everything that they can to not get fired, not get let go, not even move on to a different career choice, even if the one that they're in isn't the right one for them. So what we are going to talk about today is going to be more how to identify this happening on your team and some things that we can do, because as leaders, realistically, this isn't something that we can solve or fix, but we do need to have an awareness of it. So if you don't know about this episode is going to really bring some awareness on how you can identify this on your team. And we'll talk through a couple different ways that you can kind of talk with your team about this and encourage them a little bit. So the first thing that you're going to want to look for is going to be
So they are going to be experiencing, your employees are going to be experiencing a stalled professional growth, meaning they don't want extra assignments. They don't want to even develop themselves. Maybe you have some courses, some things for them to do just to kind of like increase their, like have more skills and within the role, but they don't want that. They don't show any interest about doing those things. And so you can notice when a team member doesn't want to go above and beyond and they are just there to receive a paycheck and do their bare minimal, you can tell that something is happening. You start telling that something is happening right away.
Especially when they have been someone who maybe was willing to do more.
Oh, you know that they
the
have
past.
potential.
Yes.
You know that they have potential. You know they can perform, but they just don't want to do. It's about willingness more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that's probably in the back of their minds, which leads into my next one, is they're going to be afraid of burning out.
Yes.
Because they don't want to take on too much. And that's kind of the second thing that you can look out for is burnout. Maybe there are people who are so afraid of losing their jobs that they will do anything to keep it. So maybe they're taking on way too much. Maybe they're even asking for more responsibility because they're trying to be relevant and stay needed. They're willing to do anything and everything because if they don't, then they're probably not going to be the obvious choice for something like a promotion or whatever's available to them as well. Another thing with these employees that might be burning out and taking on a lot, they might be really resistant to feedback because if you're trying to coach them and tell them, hey, I saw, you could improve in this area, they might be really defensive and say, well, I've been going above and beyond and I've been doing that because they're trying to defend their job and they're trying to keep and hang on and hug as much as they can because it's very uncertain out there. And another point to this is also if we've talked about like purpose and finding meaning in the jobs that you're doing and the role that you have. If your employee is not finding a sense of purpose in the work that they are doing, and they probably shouldn't be in that role anymore, but they're staying just to stay and they're meeting expectations, but they're not really finding connection to what they're doing, they're also risking burnout as well because they're putting a lot of time and energy into something that they don't really find value in. And that is a big red flag for disengagement too. And within all of these, the people that don't want to take on the extra roles, the people that do want to take on the extra roles, you're going to end up finding a really big dip in morale, a decrease in innovation, and like I just said, a lot of disengaged employees as well. So if these are things that you feel like you are identifying a little bit on your team, we have some ways that you can talk to your team to kind of encourage them to look at this a little bit differently. Because even though it's scary, there are opportunities that lie within this as well.
Yes, the only thing that I want to kind of give a caveat for these conversations is that in the past I have team members that they were very close to retirement, and they honestly they didn't want to do the extra thing. They were grandparents, they were ready to go home at 5 and do, and I respected that too.
100%.
You know, like you
Yeah.
had to be very mindful of who you're talking to, and I don't want to, as a person that is 2 years away to retirement and just continue pushing development
Yeah.
and like, where are you gonna go next? They're like, no, I'm good.
I'm done, dude.
I have that conversation as a young leader. I'm like, okay, do you want to go to the I'm like, Erica, I have
No.
5 grandkids. I want to leave my job at 5 p.m. I want to just easy job and just go home.
Yeah.
And but she did her job. It's not that I'm protecting her because she's about to retire. She was doing her job. It's just that I recognize it's not about job hogging in that
Yeah,
aspect.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
It's just that
It's comfortability. They're comfortable.
It is comfortable.
Yeah.
There are some people that are comfortable. That's their personality. So I know it's very tricky to kind of like define and identify those two. But you that's why you need to learn about your team members and what they are
100%.
at. Quick Buzz Leaders. This is a leadership development resource brought to you by Monarch Coaching.
If you've been feeling the pressure in your new role, thinking about a career change, or stepping back into the workforce, you're not alone. The Transformative Series by Monarch Coaching is a 5-week journey designed to help people like you emerge, evolve, and elevate in every stage of leadership. It's where mindset meets confidence and confidence meets opportunity. Because you don't need to wait until you feel ready, you just need the right support to get there. Visit the link in our description below to learn more about upcoming pods, and use code LHL10 at checkout to receive 10% off your seat. The Transformative Series, practical tools, real support, and lasting transformation.
All right, let's go back to the conversation.
Yeah. So I think another part of that is their goals, right?
Yes.
Like
so
having
that's
the
actually the
conversation.
first thing that you should be doing, having an open conversation with your team members, talking about their professional and their personal goals. You will learn so much, and we have said this so many times. You will learn so much about their personality, where they want to be because of their goals. If they have clear goals, and then you might be able to identify if they want to be in the team. So you perhaps say this is something actually that doesn't align with what I study, which is happening a lot. A lot of people is spending a lot of money and a lot of time with their degrees and studying in university, and they're doing things that are completely different, and that's very demotivating. As a leader, you don't have a lot of power for that. But my invitation for you is to tell them, okay, you're not going to be here forever, but while you are here, you need to give your best, because this is how you build character. This is how you build the person that you want to be in your future, that professional. That maybe right now this is not the job that is make you so excited, but you have to make it excited. You have the responsibility for the team to give your best, but also for your future yourself. You know, you don't know even who is in this room that is gonna give you the possibility to maybe go to, maybe one of these people that you work with is the next founder of the next company, and because they know your work ethic, they're gonna take you with you. Or because they know your work ethic, they're gonna avoid you.
Yeah.
So make sure that you always give your best, and that advice, it comes from like a place of friendship, you know, more than even a leader. A leader is a friend. And if you explain them, like, give your best, develop those skills, take advantage of me giving you those challenges and that development, because that's gonna help you. I assure you. Right now you are not seeing it, but I learned from being a waitress. I learned so many things from being a waitress when I was 18, 19, 20. Maybe my purpose wasn't there, but also service is part of a purpose, you know, and so kind of try to align those things with your team members, especially those younger generations, because we need them.
Yeah. And you don't want to necessarily push someone to do something that they don't want to do. But another way to share with your team members a different perspective on looking at something like this is, if you do, you know, you talk about their goals and they have these things and you're holding them accountable to achieving those goals, it's making sure that this downtime, if you will, this time that they feel stuck and this stillness, it's not really that you're stuck. It's this is your opportunity to hone in on the skills that you do have, or start to develop the ones that you want to develop. And as a leader, there are a couple things that you can open up to them and say, okay, maybe there's a cross team function that you want to learn. Maybe there's a different aspect of the business that you want to learn, and you're in a position where you can support that for them. I know we worked in companies where you can shadow different teams, different departments, and learn a little bit more about those departments. And if you are interested, you can move to those departments if you're a good employee and you're doing everything that you need to be doing. Yeah. But yeah, this sense of being stuck, you really need to reframe it as, okay, no, I actually have time and opportunity right now to develop my skills, to do some continuous improvement. There's that saying that I really like, that quote, that's, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So if this is someone who has a degree in something that they're not actually executing on in their current role, but they get an opportunity, they get lucky, if you will, and they get an opportunity to work in that field or that industry, then they're prepared. But if they're using this as a time for, oh, pity me, like I'm stuck here and I hate this job, like that's on them, but you can at least encourage them. And like Erica said, as a friend, say, hey, listen, this is your time to shine, actually. Like you are preparing for the future right now. And that way you're not trying to apply for these jobs that you're not prepared for and you won't get anyway. You're actually wasting your time.
Yes. Also, you can try as much as you can because it's your responsibility to bring them back to the company mission, the company purpose, and to help them, to coach them. But if you feel like they definitely are not giving their best and they are, again, job hogging and they're doing it and they just don't care, now it's your decision.
Yeah.
You can try as much as, if they were your kids, that will be different because they're your kids, but they're, at the end of the day, they're not. And you need to not just protect this individual, but the rest of the team. And if they see that this team member is not working and is not giving their best, and everybody else is giving their best, they're gonna think that you are favoring this person when you are not. You're just trying because you're a good leader, but there is also a limit.
Yeah.
So make sure that you have that limit very clear.
Absolutely.
And that person knows that you have a limit too, because they tend to abuse a little bit. Sometimes when we have a big heart, people tend to abuse when we're like, but I want the best for you. And we say this over and over, and they're like, okay, this person,
yeah,
I can do whatever. No, they
right.
can't.
Yeah. So don't just focus on that one employee too. Like give as best as you can, as much equitable attention as you can. Not equal, there's a difference, but equitable attention as you can. But that's a great point. Thank you for mentioning that too.
Yes.
So if you are maybe experiencing this on your team, you've identified a couple people that you are, wanting to support in this area. Maybe they are job hugging. You guys can feel free to send them this video. Maybe this is going to be a little bit of a push that they need to help them understand, to help them understand
Maybe
that this is not
know.
being stuck. Yeah,
Yes.
You're not stuck, guys. This is just the beginning of a really exciting chapter for you.
Yes.
But of course, if you have any best practices, always share them in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to get more content from us.
Yes, and thank you again to our friends at Velocity for this beautiful studio. And we'll see you next week, leaders.
Bye.